The Alaska Aces are coming off their first loss of the season, and it came via a painful buzzer beater. Phoenix Super LPG, on the other hand, didn't really have a shot at winning that game, as they went up as against a red-hot Northport squad. So both these teams badly want to be able to come up with a victory here this afternoon. Anthony Stye here together with Ali Peak. And Ali, a great match we got because definitely you have two teams desperate for a W.
Well, I think more so Phoenix when you think about their first two games, because they've come up winless. And, a far cry from their performance in the PBA bubble, right? Now, if you're Alaska, hey, let's get back into the winning column. But, make no mistake, nonetheless, both of these teams have to get back in the winning column, because you don't want to drop too many games early on, because that can determine the playoff picture for both respective teams.
It's a very short conference, as you can take a look here. Rain or Shine on top with a 3-0 record, followed closely behind by Magnolia and Meralco. But of course, Meralco picked up their first loss, and that's why you can see them drop a little bit off from the top of the standings.
Yes, definitely. And if you're looking at Alaska, look, you're not in bad shape whatsoever. But if you're Phoenix, you definitely don't want to drop to 0-3. So this is a very, very important game. Even more so, I'd say, for the Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters as opposed to Alaska. But every game at this point is important nonetheless.
Well, remember, only the top 8 teams make it to the next phase. As we take a look at Alaska's numbers, the last time they came onto the court, which was a heartbreaking loss from that last buzzer beater from Ian Sangalang.
Absolutely a heartbreaking and shocking loss. They were doing a lot of great things out there. I mean, at one point they did have control of the basketball game, but free throws came back to haunt the Alaska Aces, especially down the stretch. Let's take a look at those numbers there. I mean, not too far off. They lost by 2 points, 84-82, but also the field goal percentages kind of almost identical. They shot 36.4 from the field. Assist column, again, almost identical. The ball was distributed pretty well, 16 assists. Rebounding as well. Magnolia known for being a very good rebounding team, especially when you got guys like the Beast there. However, Alaska did a good job on the boards. They out-rebounded Magnolia 59-41, but this is part of the growing pains. The free throws is what cost them the basketball game versus Magnolia. Only 47.2% free throw shooting. That cannot happen ever again.
Well, a gentleman who had a great shooting night against Blackwater and a dismal one against Magnolia, and I'm talking about Mike DiGregorio.
Yes, Mike DiGregorio is a player who can average double figures. He was averaging double figures, particularly in the PBA bubble. You look at his output, 20 points versus Blackwater. Versus Magnolia, he just couldn't seem to find his rhythm. Just couldn't find his timing whatsoever. You look at those numbers there, 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 3, which is one of his bread and butters from the three-point line.
Well, obviously for Alaska, they'd like to be able to get the Mike DiGregorio that they had against Blackwater, because his outside shooting will really open things up for the big men inside. When we switch our attention over to Phoenix, let's take a look at their performance the last time out and the numbers, which eventually are going to show you, which also is not something that they really want to be able to brag about.
Well, not at all. I mean, this is sort of a stiff jab to the face, so to speak. I don't think they expected Northport to come out the way they did. They just could never recover throughout the entire game. They got blown out that night, Anthony. It's 115-79. The shooting percentage, dismal, 32%, 5 for 30 from three-point line, which is just ridiculous. And then they got out-rebounded by Northport. And, for a team like Northport, any team that faces Northport, they are potentially dangerous. They can jump out at you. They definitely jumped out all over Phoenix. And then also the assist, 15 assists, which is not bad. But if you look at the assist column in Northport, the ball was even better distributed amongst the Northport players, 25 assists.
Well, when you take a look at the modern game, which we're all witnessing right now, when you shoot 5 out of 30 from three-point country, that's really not a recipe for success. If you take a look at the lone bright spot for their squad, and it was Vic Manuel coming off the bench. He had exceptional numbers to finish that encounter.
Just one of the brighter things to look at if you're Phoenix. You're talking about a veteran here. He knows every type of situation. He's been in so many different types of situations. It was very unfamiliar to him. But, you know, look at that output. 26 points, 11 from 20, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I'm not going to talk about the team right now. I'm just going to talk about Vic Manuel, period. This is a guy that has been coming off the bench his entire career, but putting up crazy numbers and doing it in less time than a starter would. So Vic Manuel, hopefully, along with Phoenix, they can lead one another to a victory tonight.
On your screens right now, Jason Perkins. Let's talk about him. And he had a decent showing last year. So far, he's had a good career. And the problem was they just missed that efficiency the last time out.
Well, again, it was just very difficult as a whole for the entire Phoenix team. And even if you are one of the starters or one of the star players, it was difficult for him. Again, just Vic Manuel, pretty much the only bright thing to talk about, period, as far as Phoenix is concerned in their last game. But you look at the conference averages, this conference in comparison to the last conference. Look, you got a guy like Vic Manuel there now who you know, scores in bunches. They play the same positions. Things are going to change, but I don't think it should change that much. Going from almost 18 points a game to 11 points a game, those numbers are definitely going to have to go up. Why? Because it is Jason Perkins after all. He's one of the main focal points offensive-wise for this team.
We're going to take a short break. When we come back, it's going to be the Alaska Aces up against the Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters.
Good afternoon, mga PBA, and welcome to our second game. Let's meet the starting lineups of both teams. First from your Alaska Aces. Starting at center from Tabaco Albay, number 91, Rodney Brondial. At forward from Siniluan, Laguna, number 2, Abu Tratter. Also at forward from Pasig City, number 77, Cabana. At guard from Malasiki, Pangasinan, number 3, Mike Di Gregorio. And also at guard from Parañaque City, number 42, JV Casio. Head coach of the Aces is Jeffrey Cariaso. And now let's meet the starting five of your Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters. Starting at guard, number 11, Aljun Melesio. Also at guard from Alibay Pasay, number 13, RJ Jesus. At forward from Pangasinan, number 3, Jason Perkins. At center from Bacolod, number 18, Justin Chua. And all forward from Subic Zambales, number 24, Vic Manuel. Head coach of the Fuelmasters is Topex Robinson. Game officials are Peter Paulo, Dax Dacanay, Nino Cortez, and Eli Halim.
We got the starters for this game. Alaska with Di Gregorio, Casio, Brondial, Tratter, and Banal. Melesio, Azul, Chua, Perkins, and Vic Manuel for Phoenix. JV Casio now thrust into the starting lineup as we bring you the tip-off, which is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Right off the bat, you see that Phoenix made an adjustment. They're not bringing Vic Manuel off the bench. They've included him into the starting lineup, which I think is a very good move, especially when you're dealing with the front line of Alaska. You know, even though Alaska lost that game, they did a number on the front line of Magnolia.
Manuel overshoots there on that fast break. And also a little change here from Coach Jeff, bringing in JV.
JV Casio Gabanal starting, Rodney Brondial starting as well.
Great effort there, but that ball will stay with the Aces.
But I like the adjustment by Coach Topex Robinson, starting a pretty powerful front line. You got Jason Perkins, Justin Chua at center, and then the power forward position in Vic Manuel.
It's going to be another turnover here. Not a good way to start for both these squads. Looking shaky.
Well, I'm sure there's a bit of sense of urgency from both teams. they understand that this is a single round robin. You don't want to lose too many games. Alaska definitely probably believes that they should have won that last game against Magnolia, and they understand some of the mistakes that they made. I'm expecting to see a much better free throw shooting output by Alaska in this game here.
Nobody yet scoring. Vic Manuel just shut the door there on Gab Banal.
I mean, Gab Banal ran into a wall, like literally.
2 minutes, 15 seconds just about. Gone here in the first period, and still 0-0. Banal actually had a good game 2 games ago against Blackwater. Di Gregorio, not that time. They go inside to the big man, power dribble, doesn't work for Chatter. Here's Hazul. Hazul has started out every game here for Phoenix.
Now, RJ Hazul is known for his three-point shooting. We're seeing a lot of penetration on the part of RJ, particularly this conference, and particularly with this conference with Coach Topex Robinson, Phoenix Fuelmasters, even though Topex has been with the Phoenix Fuelmasters for quite some time. But what I'm looking for, particularly from the Phoenix Fuelmasters, is just a lot more attention to detail, especially coming from that game versus Northport. It's just kind of hard to tell, like were they completely focused and prepared mentally to play against a team like Northport, or did they just walk into the building thinking that Northport was just going to lay down because of their dismal performance in their very opening game? That can very well happen.
Banal hits from the outside. Alaska finally on the board.
Gab Banal has been shooting the ball very, very well this conference so far at that three-point mark.
Chua step back, doesn't work. Chua has also improved this game here.
A lot. I was actually expecting Justin Chua to back down Gab Banal in the post. He has a size advantage.
Stratter with the spin. Foul there by Chua.
Nice strong move by Abu Trotter. I like that. I like that power move there. I even like that first attempt, even though he missed that shot. Let's take a look at this this nice pass here. Mike Di Gregorio setting up Gab Banal really well. Sucking into defense and then finding Gab Banal at the three-point line. Forcing Phoenix's defense to scramble, but just a little too late there.
Tratter on the line. Steam up by 1. Nice looping free throw.
Well, we talked about this in the last game when they played against Magnolia. You and I covered that, Anthony. But you could see that the bigs of Alaska, particularly Abu Trotter and Yusuf Taha, their moves look a lot better in the block or making a move to the basket. And I'm going to talk about Danny Ildefonso, the MVP of the league at one point in the PBA. He's got excellent footwork, and you know that these guys are working together day in, day out.
And the good work is showing. Well, unfortunately, Matthew Wright is out for this game because his ankle injury has actually worsened. So unfortunately, no Wright for this ball game. We did see him the last time we covered this Phoenix squad.
Yeah, I mean, he's been steady, but we haven't seen the explosion in points from Matthew Wright the way that we want to see, the way he's capable of doing. But health is the most important thing, especially for the long run here. We saw Abu Trotter on the other end earlier knock down a baseline jumper.
Perkins. They go down low to Chua.
This is a mismatch right here. That's what I was expecting right there for Chua. He's got to control the ball a little bit more and use his strength and body a little bit more. Give Gab Banal a couple of bangs before he goes straight up.
2-point lead enjoyed by Alaska. Di Gregorio weaving, finds Tratter. Tratter hits that 16-foot shot.
Hey, if they're going to give it to you, you take it and you make it. And those are 2 jump shots, mid-range jump shots by Abu Trotter. So far, Alaska's front line looking really good.
And look inside, they can't find Manuel. Hitting from the outside is Azul.
That's what he's there for. That's one of the reasons why. I mean, he was doing a lot of that when he was playing for the Alaska Aces, knocking down 3-point shots. Very, very tough player in RJ Azul.
Casio to the wing. Manal thought about it. Gives it up to Brondial. Brondial starting out today as well for the Aces.
He's got to shoot it. The time's going down.
Makes the attempt and knocks it down.
So far, we've seen some good execution between big to big versus Abu Trotter knocking down a couple of jumpers, and now Rodney Brondial with his own jumper.
Chua on the outside finds Perkins. Going back to the muscle man.
It's good defense there by Alaska, double teaming the muscle man right off the bat. As soon as he tried to make a move to the basket, you saw Abu Trotter come over and help right away, get the ball out of Big Manuel's hands.
It's a very slow start for Big Manuel here. The Gregorio hits.
And that's what we want to see. We want to see more of those types of shots by Mike DiGregorio. But make no mistake, Mike DiGregorio's a veteran in the league. Okay, still young, but he's got at least 5 or 6 years under his belt. He knows that he has to take his time and allow the game to come back to him. That was a nice shot by Big Manuel from the top of the key.
So you can see a prototypical big man of today's game. And hit the 3, strong inside. Casio
Nice pass, oh my goodness.
threading the needle there.
Wow.
Finding Brondial.
JB Casio has been doing that for ages. In the past, he's had some really good big men to work with. One of the guys that I think about is the guy on the opposing side right now, Big Manuel, but also Sonny Toss. He used to hook Sonny Toss up with a lot of passes, like the one we just saw. Nice pass, beautiful. And the big men of Alaska are doing a really good job by moving without the basketball and putting themselves in position to receive passes just like that. Awesome assist given by Mike DiGregorio.
Azul puts up another 3. Will miss that time. Brondial will lose possession, but they say the ball will stay here to the Aces, with the Aces.
I like what Coach Jeffrey Cariaso's putting together. Slowly but surely. That's a beautiful pass again. I can't say that enough by JB Casio. And this is a nice setup by Mike DiGregorio to Rodney Brondial.
That's going to bring us to this timeout. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Justin Chua starting out this ball game here for Phoenix, but unfortunately the last time out it was a slow start.
Well, you're looking at slow start is pretty consistent when you look at his performance and his output in the Philippine Cup last year, in the PBA bubble in particular. 11.6 points per game. The shooting percentage down significantly, 16.7%, and the point production 4.5 points per game. And he's going to have to pick things up in this conference, not only for the team but also for himself. And he is a big, intricate part. He has made himself a very important part of this Phoenix squad. With the departure of guys like Dave Marcelo, and of course, Vic Manuel implemented into this lineup. So, of course, the point production is going to change if you're Justin Chua because you have a guy like Vic Manuel there. But at the same time, you still have to assert yourself in terms of trying to get points there on the board. Not from a selfish standpoint, but just, putting yourself in the right position, being able to clean up or get those drop passes every once in a while, make some nice moves to the basket. But keep in mind, though, having said all that, you still have guys that are scorers in Jason Perkins and Big Manuel on the block. So
I guess he's got to look for other things to do as well.
Exactly. I was about to say that, Anthony. Thank you. There's the rebound. There's the playing to tough defense. So they don't have to look for him in terms of scoring as much as before. But still, Justin Chua has the potential to average more than what he's averaging right now. Definitely.
Nice look at Melesio there, who started out this ball game. Well, the lone bright spot, which we talked about earlier, in Vic Manuel, who had 26 points the last time out, off to a very slow start here.
Well, honestly, I think that sometimes you have to make a bit of adjustment. Sometimes it's weird. You program your minds, okay, I'm coming off the bench at a certain point in time. And from that aspect, you pace yourself. You're in a rhythm because that's what you trained yourself to do. Then all of a sudden, you're put into the starting lineup. That can throw you off. But then again, we're talking about Vic Manuel. He's an all-star in this league. He's been doing it for such a long time. I don't think that's the case. I also think that Alaska's done a pretty good job in preparing for a guy like Vic Manuel.
Oh, that's a poor pass.
That's a strong pass.
Those are really unforced errors that a team just cannot commit if you want to be able to win a ball game.
That was a bullet pass. I don't know what he was trying to do to Maverick and Misi. He's trying to take his head off.
18-12 is our tally. 3:46 remaining in the first period. We'll be back. Welcome back to the United Sports Arena here in Pasig for our coverage of the Alaska Aces and the Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters. Anthony Sutay here together with Ali Peak. A battle between these two squads who are trying to inch their way back into the win column.
Well, it's going to be a bit of a challenge for both teams here, knowing the situation. Both teams obviously don't want to pick up another loss, so it's going to be a challenging night tonight. But right now, I'd have to say that Alaska looks really, really good in terms of execution and just the response. Looks like Phoenix is still having a difficult time finding balance and finding some sort of rhythm. Now, Alaska in the 2-3 zone.
Azul, deep three, not going to work. Hanmisi with the rebound. Nick DeMuses has checked in. And R.R. Garcia as well for Phoenix. Hanmisi had a horrible shooting night 2 days ago. Taha!
Interior passing by Abu Trotter to Yusuf Taha. That's going to be a huge weapon for Alaska as this conference goes on.
On the outside, Pascual. He has also checked in. Long rebound goes to Teng, who also is making his first entry here today.
That was a good idea there by Maverick Hanmisi. It's just deflected, but Yusuf Taha sprinted the floor, which is what you want your big man to do.
Garcia to Hazul. Count the 3. Give the assist to RR.
That's his second three-point shot of the night. RJ Hazul.
Robbie Herndon also in the ball game. Pass inside to Taha. Battling it out there with Perkins.
Jaron Tang's got to be careful with some of those passes there. Actually, the guards for Alaska have to be careful with some of those passes. That was a tough pass to make. It almost got deflected. Let's take a look at this nice spin move baseline, and then Abu Trotter finds a cutting Yusuf Taha to the basket. And then RR Garcia setting up RJ Hazul for the three-point shot. What RJ Hazul does best, knocking down those three-point shots.
Save in between the legs from Demusis.
Demusis is another guy that, another player that Phoenix has some high hopes and high expectations for. It's an interchangeable player to where he could, he could play a small forward position, but he has that big frame. He's about 6'4", 6'5", big body. You could see that. So hopefully Nick Demusis starts to find his way in this conference.
Perkins takes a seat. Back is Vic Manuel. Pascual inside. That just won't drop.
That was a nice pass there. Pascual receiving that pass. Looked like from Deliguez. Excuse me.
Well, the foul's going to be given to Adamos, that's for sure.
Rios, excuse me, Jansen Rios. Deliguez plays for Northport.
That's right. Well, we did their game the last
Yes,
time.
yes, okay. So, yes, Jansen Rios, who's another important piece a new piece actually for Phoenix, brings a lot of energy. He's one of those energy guys, actually playing for NLEX before for Coach Yang Yao.
A lot of the team still struggling with free throws here.
Got the full court press there, which is exactly what Topex Robinson wanted. Coach Topex forcing another turnover.
Manuel won't get out of the drop. Here's Ahanmisi. Working the weave once again.
Oh, huge collision down low. Between
Pascual and Taha.
Yusuf Taha and Pascual. Pascual is a very physical player, but so is Yusuf Taha. I kind of expected this to happen because you have a lot of physical players, particularly in the front line of both teams. Phoenix was known as one of the more physical teams last conference. Robbie Herndon is one of those players that I really admire and really like. Very steady, and another one of those interchangeable type players where he can actually play defense on the power forward if he wanted to, because he does have that size and physicality. He just got backdoored though by Jansen Rios, so he's going to have to play a little bit better heads-up defense. But he can also knock down three-point shots, what we just saw.
Adamos can hit this. A little bit too strong that time. It falls to Taha.
Nice pass by Jaron Tang to a cutting Adamos, the rookie. So far, Alaska has responded well from that loss that they took against Magnolia. That's something that's very important. It's just to see, if you're a coach, to see how your team, especially a young team, responds to a loss like that. So far, so good for the Alaska Aces.
Ahanmisi calling out the play here, playing the one. Foul's going to be called on Garcia. Good foul given up there by Garcia because that's only the fourth team foul. Now there's a 1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Tang inside, passes it over. Adamos will head to the line for some shots.
Jaron Tang's been doing a really good job of setting up his teammates, with the passes. And in this case here, he sets up Adamos. And even though Adamos didn't convert on that, he did get fouled and he's gone to the free throw line. And this is just adds more of the positive things that are going on with Alaska right now. As far as ball distribution, connecting with one another, Alaska's doing a really, really good job.
Can't get that second free throw to drop. Long three, no chance in that one. We're done with the first quarter here at the Linares Sports Arena. Real competitive matchup we're watching here between the Alaska Aces and the Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters. Tratter with a nice pass. Both these teams really battling it out. Both these teams want the victory. Who will it be? We'll find out. 26-18 at the end of the first. Welcome back to the Linares Sports Arena for our coverage of the Alaska Aces and the Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters. Anthony Suntay here together with Ali Pink. Second quarter underway. You can see both these squads really want this victory. Garcia left open there, and he knocks down that three.
Looks like a little bit of confusion there on the part of Alaska's defense. Not sure who was supposed to pick up R.R. Garcia, but nonetheless, R.R. Garcia knocking down the three-point shot. But earlier on, at the start of the second quarter, field goal percentage and shooting was mentioned. Phoenix shooting 30% from the field, still struggling. All right, 6 for 20, and then Alaska actually doing a really good job. We've seen a lot of the better ball distribution of Alaska, 11 for 17, 64%. And then the assist category, Alaska actually has 10 assists as opposed to Phoenix's 5.
Garcia cops out. Manuel. That was a poor shot. The Muses misses. The Aces don't like the call. Neither does Coach Jeffrey Carrias on the sideline. Manuel hands it over. Rios hits.
It's one of the reasons why Jansen Rios was inserted into the ball game. Just to add a little energized punch. He knocked down a three-point shot. He was actually open underneath the basket. His defender didn't see where he was at. He was screaming for the ball.
Tang to Adamos. A little bit too strong. Taha with a push, and he knocks down two players from Phoenix.
It's getting kind of physical and a bit testy underneath the basket, but let's take a look at this. You'll see Pascual trying to box out Yusuf Taha. There's the offensive foul there, but the one thing I like about Yusuf Taha is he's crashing the offensive boards. We've seen that even in the last game by Alaska's bigs, and that puts a lot of pressure on the defense of the opposing side.
Vic Manuel scores, ties up this ball game.
So Phoenix chipping away, and eventually they've tied this basketball game. So that's a good sign for Phoenix, responding to what Alaska's been able to do in the first quarter.
Second deadlock of the ball game here, and breaking that tie inside quickly is Stockton. Ball's going to stay here with Phoenix.
See Jaren Tang setting up one of his teammates, Stockton, makes a nice move to the basket, but we've been seeing a lot of assists given out by Jaren Tang so far in this first half.
Bounce pass, a little bit too low there for Adamos. And Misi's going to pick up the personal. The Muses will be replaced. Here comes Perkins once again. See if they try to look for Perkins right away. They do. The gentleman from De La Salle University battling it out there in Teng. And Jason Perkins. Another one from De La Salle University checking in Abu Trotter. A lot of former Green Archers here. Manuel tries to thread the needle there with that pass. He might have been better served just taking that shot. Still a 2-point lead enjoyed by Alaska here. 9:23 to be played in the second. Rios. Garcia just lost his footing.
That was good defense by Alex Stockton. Stockton, by the way, a product of the UAP, particularly at Far Eastern University. He was selected number 21 overall by the Alaska Aces, signed a little bit late along with Arcade Yagan, who's also another promising guard and player for the Alaska Aces. I remember coaching up against him while he was at San Beda College, or San Beda University, excuse me. Both of these guys are really good in terms of being able to score the basketball. So it's no wonder that Jeffrey Carriazo selected these two.
That's going to be a block there in Stockton, though. He felt he got to the spot first. Our referees say otherwise. Rios now on the line. Trying to tie up this ball game once again. And still, free throws haunting not just the Phoenix Fuelmasters, but really all the teams in the league so far here.
You know, it is. Again, just being away from the game for a long period of time, just you factor that. Oh man, it's getting testy between Jason Perkins and Yusuf Taha. It's getting testy as far as the bigs are concerned, period, between both of these teams.
Let's see if some more color develops here this afternoon. Nice look inside. Taha was all by his lonesome. He'll get it back though. That time, made sure there was contact first before he put it up.
And he made sure everybody heard that it was an and one.
But to be an end one, you gotta have the basket
you gotta
going in though.
You gotta put the basket, yeah. But
you gotta get the basket first.
It's a guy that plays with a lot of emotion, plays with a lot of energy, and he's got to be pleased right now. Alaska has to be very pleased with signing him because he's doing really well, especially with point production, which is something that he's not known for. You know, when he was playing for Talkatex, he was the guy that would just get rebounds, run the offense, be a big body to defend whoever needed to be defended, and that was pretty much it. He was even like that when he was playing for B-Meg or with the Sam Mig Coffee back in the day for Coach Tim Cohn, but now he's developed, or he is developing that offensive game.
Manuel has that in his arsenal and will misfire though. Gonna push it up. Down to Trotter. Out of time still in the shot clock. Hanmisi hangs and misses. 3-on-2 break. And it drops there for the muscle man.
It's a nice pass there from R. Garcia to the muscle man. You know, it hasn't looked really pretty for Phoenix, but they're right there. They're in it. And that's
Third
the most
deadlock.
important thing.
Dang. Stockton. Stockton for three. Short. Still tied at 29. Perkins launches. Comes up short though. That's gonna stay here with Phoenix.
It's a nice strong move there by the muscle man, Vic Manuel. But I'm also just thinking about this too. You know, Phoenix came very close to making it to the finals in the PBA bubble, and you know, whether you're being the defending champs is one thing, but also being one of the top teams that finished in the Final Four, the Final Three, Final Two, whatever you want to call it. You also have to put in. You also have to factor in, Anthony, that other teams around the league see you as a top contender. And that may be or may have been the case for Phoenix. So teams initially get up for a team like Phoenix knowing that they were one of the top teams finishing last conference.
At the same time, if you look at this Phoenix squad also, there's quite a change in the makeup they've had from last year to this year.
There's definitely a change in terms of some of the bigs having to be replaced. One in particular, a huge gap is Calvin Abueva, the beast.
Perkins felt he had the advantage there over Banal.
So it's a bit of adjustment that Phoenix is going to have to make. They're trying to make that. You can see that their offense is really struggling in terms of fluidity. You know, when Calvin Abueva was there, Calvin's teammates, while he was at Phoenix, didn't really have to worry so much because Calvin's already too much to handle. You know, other teams were focusing so much on him that just sort of freed up guys like Jason Perkins and Justin Chua.
Snatching that out of the air is Herndon. Banal wanted to go inside to Trotter. Brondial back in the ball game.
Ooh. Larry Muyang, the product out of Letran, the rookie, just took a shot to the face, it looked like, by Abu Trotter.
See exactly what transpired.
It wasn't an elbow, but it was the side of the head that collided. There it is right here, boom. Ooh, those don't feel good at all. And it looked like it hit him on the bridge of the nose, even more so. That was a headbutt.
Well, they're going to review this one, and
oh wow.
Well, he's definitely shaken up.
Yeah, I mean that was right on the nose. That was the bridge of the nose. That was the side of the head to the nose, and I wouldn't be. It looks like it's broken. You see that bump right there?
Well, they got the staff working on him right here. Inadvertent clash of heads.
It was an inadvertent clash of heads, and you see Abu Trotter going over to apologize. But this has happened to me many times, where you get clocked in the head or you get hit in the nose. I've broken my nose. As a matter of fact, Anthony, my nose is still crooked from when I got hit back when I was 14 years old. It's just part of the game, but of course, these are just not things that you want to see happen to anybody, especially Larry Muyang, who's got so much promise, and he's got a lot of skill set in addition to Phoenix's team.
Well, Pascual is going to check in for him. We wish the best here for Muyang.
I mean, that is a lot of weight coming at you. That's Abu Trotter, who's about 6'5", 6'6", 250 pounds.
Trotter trying to seal once again. But now he's going to take it in. Takes that shot falling away, and the foul is going to be called on Brandial.
You know, the bigs of Alaska crashing the boards, but they also have to be aware that they can't pick up these fouls when going for the rebounds. You know, they don't want to be put in foul trouble. Now, you know, they're in the penalty, and Pascual's going to the free throw line.
6:07 remaining here in the second period. And again, another missed free throw. JV Kasha started out this ball game for the Aces after coming off the bench the last time out. Pascual's second free throw. That'll drop. Banal now playing point. That's a very tall lineup. Looking for Herndon. Herndon attacks. Gets blocked up front, but there's a foul, I think, on Pascual in the back.
He went up and tried to contest that, but that's actually a good move by Robbie Herndon. He read the defense really well, penetrated, you know, and drew the foul there. But you are right about that. That is a big lineup by Alaska right now, particularly at that guard position.
Timeout on the floor. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Yusuf Tao's been on a tear. While away from the PBA, he must have put in a lot of serious work, as he's currently performing at a very high level here for the Aces.
Before we talk about that, Anthony, Vic Manuel, so far in this game, 11 points, 8 rebounds, 5 for 11 field goal. But going back to Yusuf Taha, absolutely. You know, he's really putting in really good work. His numbers have dramatically increased ever since he's put on an Alaska Aces uniform. But going back to Vic Manuel, you know, just the elder statesman for this basketball team, for this young team of Phoenix, really just trying to hold this team together. But right now, both teams steady, and the score is tied.
And that's one of the matchups you and I were looking forward to. Taha up against Vic Manuel.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know, so far, it hasn't failed us in terms of you know, matchups. We've seen a little physicality underneath the basket. You know, guys getting a little frustrated with one another, trying to establish position underneath the basket. But Robbie Herndon is another guy that I like to talk about because he reminds me so much of a Will Antonio in the way they play, the way they defend, even the way they move out there in the court. Three-point shooting, Will Antonio had that, but also how physical both of these guys are, being able to mix it up down low.
Azul has checked back into the ball game. Just puts that one up and hits another three. He's got 3 in the ball game already.
So far, the three-point shooting is working for RJ Azul, putting Phoenix up by 2.
Banal calling the shots. Goes to Trotter. Herndon, his version of a 3, no. Trotter inside, trying to carve out space. Denied.
It's a big offensive rebound, but he lost the ball.
And they go inside Pascual. Perkins is asking for it. Got it. Puts up a 3 and misses. Pascual battling inside. Melesio. Back rims that one. Herndon picks it up. Pushes it forward. Banal. Misfires.
Oh, wow, you cannot miss those types of shots. It looked like he changed his mind on his way to the basket. Looked like he was about to go shoot the ball with his right hand. Then he decided that he was going to shoot with the ball with his left hand. Sometimes that happens.
Pascual puts up a 3 and hits.
He does have that capability. He was doing that when he was playing for Alaska, knocking down those 3-point shots.
And now the lead is 5 for Phoenix. Tratter, long 2, no. So the field goal numbers from 3-point distance. Perkins pulling his way inside.
What a response by Phoenix. You know, they were struggling in the beginning of this quarter here, but we've seen a couple of conversions that have been big for the Phoenix Fuelmasters, LPG rather. First a 3-point shot by Pascual, and then this, Jason Perkins starting to open up.
Good afternoon, Philippines, and welcome back to our coverage of the 2021 Honda PBA Philippine Cup, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Anthony Sutay here together with Ali Peak. And suddenly, change of hands. Phoenix now on top over Alaska with a good first quarter. Now this second quarter has belonged to Phoenix.
There's a bit of a combination between inside and outside for the Phoenix Fuelmasters, also making stops. You know, even when Alaska would get the offensive rebound and attempt to put it back, it'd be stripped away. So really good defense on the part of Phoenix. But, you know, I'm going to talk about the shooting percentage from 3-point line for Phoenix. They're shooting 46% right now, so that's a good percentage. As Bernal knocks down a jumper. But also points in the paint is something to pay attention to, because Phoenix has been doing a pretty good job of producing in the paint.
Chua thought about it, brings it closer. Tries to kiss it off the glass a little bit too strong. Banal all the way through, this time with a much stronger right hand.
And off transition. So Banal doing a pretty good job as far as scoring production is concerned. But they got to make more stops here to try to regain this lead.
Melesio launches. Will miss. Trotter with the rebound. Perkins with a steal though. Pascual.
Good defense and good pressure defense by Phoenix.
"30-second timeout will be called here by the Aces. Once again, Coach Jeffrey can't be happy with the transition from the rebound and trying to move it up on offense.
Well, it's just a lazy pass there by Abu Trotter. You know, it's picked off. It seems like it was picked off easily by Jason Perkins. You can't make those types of mistakes there. Let's take a look at this outlet pass by Yusuf Taha to Bernal getting out in the break. But this is off the turnover committed by Abu Trotter. Pascual receiving the ball from Jason Perkins and scoring.
So 2 turnovers from Trotter of different natures. He picked up a rebound in the first quarter,
It's got stripped away.
threw it too strong.
Oh, that's
to
right,
Misi.
yes. Earlier on.
And so this time, he said, I don't want to throw it too strong. He gave a lackadaisical pass, which was
Yeah.
picked off as well.
So these are the little mistakes and also, the growing pains that some of the young players for Alaska are going to have to go through. Understanding that every possession is so critical, especially when you're trying to win a basketball game.
Just getting it past the timeline.
Seconds.
No, they say he didn't beat it.
I'm sorry?
He didn't beat bringing it down. And so that's why he got called for an 8-second violation. As you
8-second
take a look at
violation.
Coach Jeffrey.
Yeah, the pressure defense being implemented here by Phoenix, one of the things that Coach Topex Robinson loves to do. And we're seeing it being effective so far.
Manuel denied there by Taha.
Now, Taha, and he's letting everybody know about it too.
Well, he was letting everybody know about an end one situation.
And one, when it wasn't an and one situation. But it's okay. Look, I admire the intensity by this guy right now, by Yusuf Taha.
De Gregorio is going to get to it first. He'll challenge and score.
I want to see more opportunities like that by Alaska, being able to get out to the break. However, it's important that Alaska doesn't play into the hands of what Phoenix is trying to do. We're seeing the pressure defense. Oftentimes when coaches have their players pressure, especially full court, they're trying to speed up the pace of the game to where it's to their advantage. What that causes is ill-advised passes, which we saw earlier on by Abu Trotter, and also turnovers that result in points.
Watch it here, the last play. They reviewed that and said it's just a regular foul. Just a good hard foul to make sure there was no three-point play.
Nothing easy.
First is good for Garcia. Nice to see Garcia back in action and sort of revived his career.
Well, I'm hoping that he can find a home, a definite home. He's been shifted around to so many different teams, Anthony, over the last several years.
I'll make no mistake about it, he's a baller.
No, I mean, he was the 1-2 punch with Terrence Romeo in the UAAP. I mean, if you can imagine what that must have been like.
That was a real nightmare for their opponents.
Terrence Romeo, R.R. Garcia. And was Mac Bello a part of that team as well?
He was there in FEU.
Wow.
Manuel, you bring it closer. And that is where he has the advantage. He's got foot speed advantage over Taha.
Yeah, Taha was a little bit too open. He kind of left himself a little too open on that baseline. And Vic Manuel saw that space and took advantage of it.
Tratter kicks it out. Casio for three. Perkins with the rebound. Banal with the steal. Taha inside. No. Both teams have had their opportunities from inside that paint. Manuel, three.
Wow.
Yes.
You don't see that too often from Vic Manuel. A lot of the times you see him operating in the block. Every once in a while a mid-range jump shot, but he does have that in his arsenal. And now we're talking about a 10-point lead by Phoenix.
Biggest lead of the ball game here for Phoenix. Tratter trying to post up. Banal hits.
Nice action there between Gab Banal and Abu Trotter, inside and out. Now Trotter made the right decision because he did see the defense collapsing when he tried to make a move to the basket, leaving Gab Banal wide open for the three-point shot.
Long two works.
This time from the elbow, Vic Manuel.
You can see in the sidelines, Coach Daniel Defonso, so disappointed. Manuel tips it to himself. Coach Topex Wanted to call timeout here. It does. We're going to hang on to the air. He wants to diagram another offensive play. They want him to be able to score. Bring that advantage possibly to double digits here, Ali.
Well, Phoenix has been doing a really good job, playing defense, making stops. Although they weren't able to make that stop against Gabonal, knocking down a three-point shot, but they've been able to cause turnovers that resulted in points. And we're getting a lot more production. We've seen Pascual score points. We've seen RJ Hazul score points. We've even seen Jason Perkins get his own 2 points. And then, of course, Vic Manuel doing what he does.
.3 seconds remaining here before the halftime break. What has Coach Topex come up with? Going to Manuel. Manuel, quick move.
Hey,
Gets the drop.
Listen, just keep going to the guy. Just keep going to him. Your offense starts there, and once Alaska starts making their adjustments, then you work yourself out. You work your way out.
Time's going to expire. A little bit of color developing once again between Taha and Perkins. What a strong finish here for Vic Manuel, and Vic has 20 points and 9 rebounds already.
Wow. But I mean, do you expect anything less from the muscle man, especially getting the starting position to start this game off? And I think Coach Topex Robinson did that for a reason. He wanted to get Vic Manuel going in the first half.
It's 53-42 after 2 quarters.
Batak there. Abueva can make it a 2-possession lead. Calvin misses. Calvin trails his miss and puts it back.
Calvin, sensing that he will miss, went after his shot. Look at that. Nobody blocked him off. Nagtuloy-tuloy ngayon siya for that putback.
Back over to Popoy. Kanina pa inahanap ni Jason yun. Bobontin, blocked by Ganuelas. A two-handed block by Matt. Inuha lang RG.
Grabe yun. Nagulat ako ron.
Fourth action. There you go. That's what we were waiting for. Eye in the sky for the guy who can leap out of here.
And you just throw it up. If you see Jamie Malonzo running beside you or in front of you, you throw it up.
Coaches, merong adjustments. Oh! Kelly Williams with a bastos alley-oop jam. May kasama pang foul. Ang daming kombinasyon nun.
The athleticism of Kelly Williams was in full display.
Welcome back to the PBA Machine Gun Kelly.
53-42 is our tally here at the Inara Sports Arena. Halftime between the Alaska Aces and the Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters. Phoenix up by 11 at this stage as we bring you some of the highlights of the first 2 quarters of play. We're in, again, really you can say it's a tale of 2 quarters because the first quarter essentially belonged to Alaska, the second quarter belonged to Phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely. In that first quarter, Alaska led 26-18, but a complete turnaround as far as Phoenix is concerned. Phoenix scoring 35 points in that second quarter to Alaska 16. That made a huge difference. In that first quarter, we saw a lot of connections as far as the Alaska team is concerned. You know, a lot of the guards setting up their big men really well. Grandial on the receiving end from both J.B. Casio and Mike DiGregorio. But on the other end, we saw the steadiness in Phoenix, just holding strong no matter what happened. R.J. Hazul knocking down the 3-point shot, and then Vic Manuel going to work. 20 points to be exact as far as his production is concerned in that first half. But we did see a little bit of response by Alaska, the in and out 2-man game between Abu Trotter and Gab Banal, and then Vic Manuel coming back on the other side with a spin move to the basket.
But you're gonna bring up the halftime stats, and these stats are brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA.
Well, shooting has been one of the major factors for both teams. Both teams shoot around the same percentage, 44%, Alaska 42%. 3-point shooting has been also another thing that's worked very well for the Phoenix Fuelmasters. 44%, 8 for 18, not too shabby in compared to Alaska's only 4 for 14, 28%. Rebounds pretty much even. Actually, they are even, 24 all. And then the assist category almost even, 14 assists for Alaska, 11 for Phoenix. But it's really been the grit and particularly the last few possessions of Alaska where they turned the ball over, which resulted in points, easy buckets by Phoenix because of the pressure defense that was implemented, deployed by Coach Topaz Robinson.
Take a look at the leading scorers for both these squads. Vic Manuel leading the charge for Phoenix with 20 points, backed up by Hazul with 11, and even Pascual off the bench has 7, together with Rios also off the bench, and even with R.R. Garcia with 5. On the other side, Banal with 13, Brondial with 6, Trotter with 5, DiGregorio also helping out scoring there, but DiGregorio, again, a lot more is expected of him because he came up with such a great showing against Blackwater 2 games ago.
Yeah, I think that a lot of these guys are still adapting and adjusting to one another. There are new faces for both of these teams. And we talked about Jason Perkins' reduced production, even Justin Chua. On the other side, you look at guys like Mike DiGregorio, because there's other pieces there. So adjustments are going to have to be made in terms of these guys are still learning how to play with one another.
And Misi, another one of those players who has yet to find his groove here, really, with the Aces.
He's coming off injuries, and I don't know how severe some of those injuries were. He's been injured the last few conferences, so he's still trying to find his bearings. But Maverick Ahamisi brings a lot. If you go back to his rookie year, especially with Rain or Shine, he actually won a championship with the Rain or Shine Alasso Painters.
We've begun the third period.
Nice pass by Vic Manuel. And nice finish by Justin Chua. Big-to-big connection for Phoenix.
You can see all the attention there was focused on Manuel, and he made the defense pay. DiGregorio. Long rebound, picked up here by Phoenix. Garcia kicks it out. Chua showing one way, going the other, and hitting the basket.
I actually thought at first he was going to try to do too much, but he made a nice move.
got a report here on the status of Muyang a while ago. You and I thought it might have been a broken nose. Well, they're saying that there is trauma. They have not yet really asserted whether it's a broken nose or not, but they say he could return here in this
wow.
game.
Wow. That's a good thing, as Vic Manuel picked up where he left off.
He's well on his way to at least 30 points.
Oh, for sure.
The pass behind Jeron.
You can see the frustration on the body language of Coach Carriazo. These are just unforced errors, costing Alaska. But this has been the main focal point of Alaska's defense so far. That's good defense there by Rodney Brandial. He looked like he got a piece of that.
Extra pass. Tang overshoots. And he can't control the offensive rebound.
Actually, I thought that Rodney Brandial should have took it straight up. He was in perfect position to score the basketball.
It is now a 17-point lead enjoyed by Phoenix, their biggest lead here in the ball game. Long two, a little bit too strong that time. Dang, hands it over. Tratter with a jumper. Rattles that one through. Brings them to win in 15. Perkins once more and gets it.
That's a good sign. Jason Perkins with only 4 points in the first half, getting on the scoreboard to start this third quarter off. So the big men of Phoenix putting in some work.
Tratter trying to carve out some space. A foul's going to be called on Chua.
So this is a good start by Phoenix in the third quarter. Oftentimes you got to worry about the runs, but let's take a look at this three-point shot by Jason Perkins. And you know that had to feel really good for Jason Perkins. Set up nicely by R. Garcia, but so far, all the bigs for Phoenix. We saw Vic Manuel start off the third quarter with a few buckets, then Justin Chua after that, and now Jason Perkins. So this is what you want if you're the Phoenix Fuelmasters, especially Coach Topex Robinson, who's been looking for more consistent point production from his bigs.
And even for Perkins, who had a dismal previous game, at least now he can see those shots dropping. You can see the zip in his step. Garcia. Perfect pocket pass. Finds Chua. Basket and one.
I'm right on the mark here, Anthony. You know, you got the production that you're looking for. You're getting the production that you're looking for from these big guys in Phoenix. And Justin Chua starting to look like his normal self. That's a beautiful pick and roll play between Justin Chua and R. Garcia, and a nice bounce pass from R. Garcia to Justin Chua.
Could be an even 20-point lead. And it is. This is now the biggest lead in the ball game for either squad, and Phoenix Fuelmasters really wanting to send a statement, I think, around the league that, hey, last game's loss was an aberration.
Well, yeah, I think it was more of them trying to get back on track. You know, they sort of got derailed when they lost to Magnolia in their opening game. Then they get hit in the face hard by Northport, so it's just a matter of trying to recover and get their confidence back. You saw the struggle in the first quarter by Phoenix, but then all of a sudden things really started to go their way. Now they're going their way even more in this third quarter.
Long two works for Tang. Well, the guards of Alaska need to really get involved here. They want to have any chance of coming back. Lead pass a little bit too long for Chua. Traveling is going to be called. And here's
Great to
Muyang.
see. It's good. You know what? The reason why he's able to come back, like, first of all, awesome that Larry Muyang is back into the game. I mean, that's his toughness right there, but he's also young. Something like that happens to me, no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to get back in the basketball game. But it's a good sign that he's there in all seriousness.
To be young again, huh, Ali?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, anyone that's listening, and I don't mean any offense to any 40-year-olds, but when they say life begins at 40, it's a lie. I don't care what anybody says. You've got to be kidding me.
And then now more people are saying life begins at 50. So they're putting it up another 10
They're
years.
just trying to make themselves feel better. That's all it is. It's ridiculous.
Well, Larry Muyang,
I'll tell you what,
a young individual, is very glad that he's still at that age.
For all the Gen Zs, appreciate and be grateful for your youth, because it's going to go by quickly. After that, it's all over with. Believe me.
It's all downhill.
I used to be the man mountain, Anthony. I used to be the man mountain. I'm not even a mountain anymore.
I can't call you the man hill. So,
Just call me an anthill. How about that?
in reference to the Avengers.
Ollie, is it? No, yeah, Ollie Anthill Peak with no ants.
Look at this. Power move. Deng against his former teammate Perkins will be called for the charge.
But you like this response by Phoenix. You know, knowing the idea that they can possibly go down 0-3 if they don't handle business tonight. The game is not over. There's still a long ways to go, but this is a good sign if you're Phoenix.
We're going to take a little break. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Games on Sunday. Northport up against the San Miguel Beermen. Magnolia up against Barangay Ginebra. And NLEX up against Terra Firma. That's at 2, 4:35, and 7 p.m. respectively. All games live on PBA Rush, Signal, and Smart GigaFest. More games coming up here this weekend. It's a PBA extravaganza. Not to mention the Manila Clasico.
Manila Clasico, always a fun game to watch. You just never know which way it's going to go, because both of those teams, just tradition alone, you know, even if it's your first time as a ball player being a part of that, you get up for it.
And I'm sure the fans are going to get up for that one tomorrow. Not to mention this one that they're enjoying here. Jerome 10 looking for his third basket. But a foul's going to be called on Vic Manuel. 2 free throws coming up here for Jerome. Takes care of business with the first one. Cuts that lead of Phoenix down to 17. Still an imposing 17-point lead though. Brings it down to 16. Quickly they push it forward to Perkins. Perkins calling out the play. Muyang asking for it inside. Azul, a little bit too strong. Here's Ahan Misi to the other corner. Going down low. Tratter That's good footwork. Everything but the shot. Found himself a little bit too deep inside. And here is Muscle Man, muscling his way, missing. Alaska now is going to walk this one up. Trying to just probably change the tempo of this match. Muyan's going to be called for the personal. Rios is going to check in together with Aljun Melesio. Melesio started out today. Adamos will also check back in. Where does Alaska go to here? Shot clock is at 6. Tang looked at it. Puts it up, and it drops.
Jerome Tang being able to convert there off of the scramble. The shot clock was winding down. Ooh, huge collision there. Larry Muyang trying to set the pick.
Hats off to Muyang.
Yeah, first of all, that was a nice baseline screen, or attempted baseline screen by Ben Adamos, and Jaren Tang was able to create something out of that. But right now, if you're Alaska, you want to try to put together a few points just to get a run going, just like the one right here. Maverick Ahanmisi forcing a turnover and then converting off of that.
Right on cue.
The biggest thing here is that Alaska's have to be patient. They're not going to be able to score in bunches right away to try to, cut this lead down. It's just going to take more stops and more good decisions offensively.
Melesio now calling out to play. Gets past Ahanmisi. Past Trotter. Perkins for 3.
Jason Perkins has found his shooting eye and his shooting touch. It's got to feel really good for him. Extending this lead now, 70-56.
Just when you saw Alaska knocking on the door, the rally was extinguished. That's a lucky break there. Adamos looked down and said, hey, what do I have here?
I mean, that was a clean-up play, but one of the things that I'm seeing right now that I'm not quite liking are the picks by Alaska when they're getting in their offense. The big men have to set solid picks, more solid picks. They have to connect. It's one of the reasons why the guards can't get free to make their move to the basket, and usually, especially in this game, it's been causing turnovers.
Now they're going to slow things down. Way on the outside. They didn't want to give it to Rios. Cut there by Perkins. Two former teammates banging against each other here in Trotter and Perkins.
There's a lot of contact there.
Yusef Taha is going to check in. Even more ceiling.
Yusef Taha is about a good 6'8", 250, 260 pounds. A lot of body there. JB Casio being checked back into the game. But if they're going to make a run, they got to make it now, Anthony. And they're right into a 2-3 zone.
Rios, he's capable of hitting that shot and does.
And that's a great pickup for the Phoenix Fuelmasters. I'm telling you, Jansen Rios makes a lot of things happen out there.
That's going to be Phoenix basketball. Came off the leg of Robbie Herndon. It's now time for the Phoenix squad to call a timeout. We'll be back. It's 73-58. Still Phoenix in the driver's seat. Jerome Tang has been on a prolonged slump with his field goals. It's quite frustrating for him because he puts so much work into it, but right now, those shots are just not falling. And you can see him here. Decent production, but still a whole lot more is expected from Jerome Tang.
Especially his first year. You know, he had a really good, strong first conference, and particularly the All-Filipino Cup, but only 10 points there. You saw the shooting percentage. He struggled from the field goal area, but, you know, he's going to have to just keep trying to progress as the conference goes along. A lot of adjustments still have to be made by Jerome Tang and so many of the new additions to this Alaska Aces team.
Perkins will be blocked there. Looks like Taha's injured. Now he's good to go. Kasha short. Perkins snatches that rebound. Now they're going to set up their offense once again. In no hurry. Is Phoenix up by 15. Azul splits
nice
the double.
Move. Oh,
So many of those shots have just rimmed out. Trying to go to Taha. Moving without the ball is Herndon. He gets blocked. Melesio calling out fist. Takes a three and hits.
this guy's not afraid to light it up. And that is a big shot for Phoenix because it extends the lead. It keeps Alaska at bay.
Trying to finish this quarter strong. Another steal.
Robbie Herndon telegraphed that pass.
They look inside. Perkins will have to settle for 2 free throws, but picture perfect pass there from Aljun. Not quite sure if Aljun and Perkins actually had a chance to play together at De La Salle University. Maybe a year. There's that great connection.
Marcelino being checked into the game. I believe this is the first time we're seeing him.
Marcelino was a Spitfire when he was in college. Looking inside Taha, drop step, gets denied, second serving short.
Yeah, Yusuf Taha just having a bit of a rough night tonight in terms of putting the ball in the basket. He's gonna have to put a little bit more on that. You know, sometimes you rely too much on your height and you expect to just go up and score, but when it's being contested the way it's been contested all night, you gotta put a little bit something on it. You got to power it up.
Long rebound, goes to Rios. You can just see a little bit more effort here really from Phoenix.
Well, they've done a really good job, particularly in the second quarter, and it's carried over to the second half. And this has been an excellent third quarter for Phoenix. It hasn't been the prettiest, but they're getting the job done.
Touch last there by Taha. Melesio, no look pass. Azul wasn't waiting for it and expecting it. He got it and it hit the sideline. Turnover here for Phoenix. Still a 20-point lead though. Minute, 10 seconds remaining here in the third. Banal. Had a good first half. Yet to score here. Marcelino misses. Taha. Gets stopped. Vic Manuel saying, I didn't foul him. Pointing over at Pascual, who did he give the foul to?
Alaska's gonna have to regroup, get ready for this fourth quarter and make it a solid fourth quarter, particularly the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter. But Phoenix looks really comfortable right now.
Under a minute to play. Taha drains the second. Cuts the lead down to 18. Alaska might try to make a mini run here. Close out the third. To have a more manageable deficit entering the fourth. Melesio will be fouled. That's 3 free throws.
I tell you what, that was a cheap foul right there. And it was completely unnecessary. You just got to be aware of what you're doing, especially when you're being in this type of situation right now that Alaska's in, and then understanding that Phoenix is a bit of on a roll here. You just can't afford to make these types of mistakes here. I mean, obviously, you're trying to challenge a shot. Let's take a look at Aljun Melesio. Very, very impressed with this kid out of De La Salle University. Seems very aggressive, plays with a lot of confidence out there and toughness.
That's what he's not lacking, confidence. Makes all 3. And the lead is now 21. Herndon having some trouble. They get it past the timeline. Manal calling out a play for himself. Overshoots. Taha will be fouled.
You see
Foul's
that?
going to go on Demusis.
You see that full court press there by Phoenix. That took about 7 to 8 seconds off the shot clock. And what that did was, you saw right away, once Alaska got across the timeline, they felt that they had to score right away. They sort of bailed themselves out by Taha getting fouled and going to the free throw line. But this is not the pace that Alaska wants to play at. They're playing right into the hands of Phoenix.
Too strong that time.
And there have been a lot of bodies falling all over the place this whole game.
And expect that to continue in the fourth. Melesio up against Marcelino. Puts up another 3 and hits.
Melesio with a 3-point shot, extending this lead 84 to 61. Alaska struggling. You see what I'm saying?
Forces the issue.
That's another rush shot. Even though the quarter's ending, that's a rush shot. Why? Because of the pressure by Phoenix.
It's a hefty lead here by the Phoenix Fuelmasters as we take a look at a lot of their highlights. Chua, baby hook works. And here's Vic Manuel continuing to do damage. Perkins from 3. And they're looking good, looking to bounce back from their previous loss. They're up 84 to 61 at the end of 3. Philippines' chances of getting its first ever gold medal is stronger than ever Share the love for Team Philippines as we count down to Tokyo 2020. Watch the Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020 from July 23rd to August 8 on Signal, TV5, One Sports, One Sports Plus, Signal Play, PLDT, and Smart with hashtag See Us Stronger. Unfortunately for the Philippines, a while ago, Kurt Barbosa in the sport of Taekwondo went down to world number 1, Zhang Jin.
And you see those scoring discrepancies in the second and third quarter. Clearly, Phoenix has dominated both quarters.
Good start here, though, for Adamos and Alaska.
Alaska just needs to keep chipping away, you know, but it's very difficult right now because Phoenix is playing with a lot of confidence. I wouldn't say that Phoenix's offense is flowing necessarily, but they're grinding it out. And that's what Alaska's going to have to do if they want to get back into this basketball game. They got to grind it out defensively, make some stops, and then on the other end, stop rushing the shots, get better shot selections by sticking to the sets in your offense.
There's a stop. Now they've got to score. Marcelino inside, overshoots. Another putback, this time from Herndon.
It's a nice tip in by Robbie Herndon. I thought that Marcelino should have gave the ball up to Robbie Herndon. It would have been an uncontested shot, but either way, it worked.
Well, they got the bucket, as you said. Extra pass, all by his lonesome Rios. Will miss, though. Herndon on the wing. Kind of pounded inside once again. As you can see, the patience that he wanted, that's an offensive foul.
It's an offensive foul, but you know what? This is what I don't like about Alaska's offense right now. I mean, they're not calling anything out. They got to get the defense of Phoenix to start moving right there. They just went straight into the post to Yusuf Taha as if he's their initial point of attack.
Turning around there with the high elbow. We're going the other way. Melesio. Bang!
He's on a roll. He's feeling really comfortable and relaxed out there now. His confidence is a bit huge.
Just a long two there.
It's a long two or a three?
Long two.
Long two.
Let's see if they try to look for Algin once again. He's got the hot hand. Well, they pass it straight to Topex. He's been retired for quite a while. Or he's trying to get brownie points with the coach with that pass. Here's Melesio, clearly a two. Algin is one of those players, doesn't need a lot of space. As Adamos hits the deck.
Not at all from what I'm seeing so far over the last few games that I've been able to watch play. But you know, you can clearly see why Topex Robinson and the coaching staff of Phoenix decided to pick him up. You know, as he becomes more and more comfortable, becomes more and more reliable in the eyes of Coach Topex Robinson. He is reliable now. I'm just saying when it compares to experience-wise, he's going to be a really good player in this league. And Robbie Herndon knocks down a three-point shot. Again, trying to chip away at this lead here, but they're having a hard time making stops on the other end.
You can't trade baskets, not at this stage. Perkins there, disappointed. He thought he got an offensive rebound. Banal calling out to play. Let's see if they just try to dump it inside. That was expected there by Phoenix. They were all over that play.
A lot of trash talking going on out there too.
You can hear it.
See it's between Perkins and Yusuf Daha. Yeah, they're talking right now.
That's one of the advantages for us as broadcasters. When there's no fans, you can hear exactly what's going on the floor. Taha will be fouled. Hard foul there from Demusis.
Yusuf Taha, this is a nice pass, first of all, by Marcelino. Yusuf Taha should have just gone straight up right there. He had it right there. Could have used his size and length to elevate over Justin Chua right here. You didn't have to do that fake, but I get it, I understand. But Nick Demusis completely takes him out.
So now Demusis is going to have to sit out, claiming that that foul was a little excessive. He doesn't think so.
I mean, he went up to try to block the shot. I don't think he was trying to take him out intentionally. It's just sometimes when you're going up to block a shot, then all of a sudden the guy in front of you, in this case Yusuf Taha, throws an up fake. That just changes everything. Now you're off balance,
and you're up in the air.
And then he goes straight up, and then you're up in the air. You're coming down as he's going straight up. It looks really dramatic.
Two free throws coming up here for Taha. Not quite sure if Coach Jeff wants to call a timeout here first. But Demusis will have to sit.
Two shots for Yusuf Taha.
Taha's first, rattles out. Let's take a look at his major comeback here from Yusuf Taha.
Well, from 2019 Philippine Cup, only 6 points per game, but you look at his statistics now, double figures. So this is a good addition for Alaska. And I don't think they really anticipated him to have this scoring output, but at the same time, I don't even think that they're complaining about it. But, you know, he is having a bit of a struggle tonight. And that's what happens when you start getting the attention from teams around the league, seeing that, hey, this big fella is starting to score points underneath the basket. We need to focus more on him. So what he's experiencing right now is teams focusing on him. He's one of the focal points. Now look, like Jason Perkins even go double him down low in the post to help out Justin Chua. But that's a nice pass there from Yusuf Taha to Gabanal, knocking down another three-point shot. This could be the start of a run for Alaska.
That's a 4-point play there, completed by Banal. And they're right back in this one, just down by 13. Got a timeout here. This timeout is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Back to the action here at the Nana Sports Arena in Pasig. Some of the highlights of this match. This one, Gabanal finishing off this fast break. Exceptional numbers here for Gab.
17 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, shooting the ball very, very well from the three-point line. This was the last three-point shot that he took before the timeout. In and out from Yusuf Taha. But he was also implemented into the starting lineup this game, and pretty good production. Coach Jeffrey Cariaso might want to consider using him in the starting lineup more consistently. We'll just have to see. But Alaska trying to mount a comeback here. They're in a 2-3 zone, hoping to disrupt the offense of Phoenix.
Perkins with a kick out. Chua for 3. No. Nice rebound there for Taha. Make sure there was no offensive rebound there for Vic Manuel, but now Vic Manuel back in the ball game. That's more problems for the Alaska defense.
Coach Topex Robinson bringing back some of his main guns to finish off this fourth quarter. Gave them some significant rest, Vic Manuel and RJ Hazul, that is, because RJ Hazul has been knocking down three-point shots of his own. And of course, this guy, Pascual, who's been very intricate in today's game. He's been able to contribute huge.
Marcelino. Short in that attempt. In no rush are the Fuelmasters. Still an eternity of basketball to be played here. 8 minutes to be exact. They're not yet out of the woods, that's for sure.
Not aware of the shot clock. Jason Perkins took a little too long at deciding what he was going to do. But if you want to sustain this lead, you have to take care of the basketball, especially down the stretch. Phoenix is looking for their first win of the conference, and they're in perfect position to do that right now.
Adamos with a handoff. Herndon, long 2, nails it.
I really like the way Robbie Herndon plays. That right there he's initiating the offense, setting up that pick and roll play. Realizing that Ben Adamos got caught up in that screen and wasn't able to dive to the basket, he went ahead and took that shot.
Azul getting to the 15-foot line. Really shifty move there.
This is the most I've seen RJ Hazul in a long time penetrate. You take a look at that. First of all, that's a nice solid screen by Ben Adamos. That's what I was looking for from Alaska. And you notice because that happened, Robbie Herndon was more free and was able to knock down that jump shot. We didn't see a lot of that, particularly in the third quarter. We saw a lot of shadow screens. Bigs of Alaska not really hitting anybody, not what we used to call back in the old school headhunt.
Yeah.
We were taught to go headhunt and seek out and try to screen our opponents to free up our teammates.
11-point lead enjoyed here by Phoenix. 7 minutes, 19 seconds remaining in this contest. Leads back up to 12. Herndon over to Banal. Banal's feeling it. Will he try to create for himself? Shot clock's down to 3.
They got to shoot it.
Herndon short.
Oh, nice offensive rebound.
Taha's gonna lose it though. Stays with Marcelino. Herndon. Short on that 3. Pascual picks it up.
They could have reset there. Robbie Herndon can knock down that shot. He's been knocking down shots the whole night. I get it, but reset. Get something better out of that. That's another rush shot.
Azul will lose that one. Approaching the halfway point here of the fourth. Abu Trotter are going to check in. So more ceiling for the Aces. So you've got Adamos on the other side as well. check that. You've got Taha on the other side. Falling away, missing.
It's just the wrong footwork there. You know, it's something that Yusuf Taha is still working on, but he used the wrong pivot foot. You know, he could have been free enough to just take that drop step. You know, dribble, drop step is what we call it. You know, you bang, you make your way towards the middle, then you wrap that bottom leg around.
And then, banking in that three, is Hazul.
RJ Hazul's been on point the whole night. You know, one of the reasons why Phoenix is up right now, he actually extended the lead over the last couple of possessions.
Bana, long two. There's Taha once again, working double time off the offensive glass.
It's a good offensive rebound, good hustle by Yusuf Taha.
Approaching the 5-minute mark. Perkins. Ill-advised pass. Here's Marcelino.
And that was a good foul by RJ Hazul just to prevent Alaska. That could have been a score for Alaska. I mean, they had the numbers to do it. But it was a good foul because he actually went for the ball.
RJ Azul there with 15 points. But none bigger than that one that just banked off the glass.
Everyone contributing in their own way. And of course the main guns of Phoenix, Super LPG, Fuelmasters. RJ Hazul has been one of those guys. And I talked about RJ Hazul, but I'm also going to talk about Jason Perkins, Justin Chua, Vic Manuel, of course, R.R. Garcia for that matter. And of course, Pascual. Pascual doing a pretty good job tonight as well.
But the lead is just 13, so Alaska still with a glimmer of hope.
I mean, there's 5 minutes left in this game. There's still a lot of time for Alaska to make one last push.
Anishi has been sent in by Coach Jeffrey Carriazo. Frater will head to the line.
Great execution there. And that's what I'm looking for. You know, you're going to get something positive out of that. And I think that's maybe one of the growing pains that Alaska's going to have to go through with some of their young pieces, their young players. Forget the rush shots. What they got out of that, they were able to get Abu Trotter to the basket. He gets fouled, now he's at the free throw line, but he has to make his free throws.
That has been the biggest problem for Coach Jeffrey Carriazo, especially in their last game.
It came back to haunt them, you know, because they had control of that basketball game down the stretch.
If you didn't see that game, they lost that game on a buzzer beater from Ian Sangalang. Alaska missed just about 15 free throws. Big shot there from the side from Pascual.
Jake Pascual knocking down a three-point shot, and I tell you, it's a great response by Phoenix. You know, understanding the situation of what could possibly happen. I said this earlier in the game, but those are some of the things that you think about, and those are some of the things that the coach relays to you. Let's take a look at that three-point shot. One of the weapons that Phoenix has is their bigs being able to knock down those types of shots. We saw Justin Chua on the other side. And what that also does offensively, Anthony, is also forces the big that's guarding that big, in that case, Jake Pascual, to have to go out.
Pascual blocked that time by Taha. Trotter gets away.
It's a nice move by Abu Trotter, taking his man off the dribble. But, you know, it might be a little too late here to make a significant run to try to catch Phoenix here. Phoenix is just playing really good basketball right now, making good decisions. They're not turning the ball over. They're taking their time offensively.
And just when you said that,
as I said,
over.
Jason Perkins just made me look bad right there.
Boy, miracle shot there.
You know,
And the lead is down to 12.
It's down to 12. Phoenix has to be careful here. They got to make good decisions.
It's not going to be smooth sailing till the end here for Phoenix. Melesio. Back rims that one. Di Gregorio with the rebound, and a foul is going to be called on Chua.
Here's that take there by Robbie Herndon. One of the guys for the Alaska Aces that can do so many different things out there. We've seen his outside shooting and then his attack in the basket.
Exactly 3 minutes remaining. That's a good substitution. Bringing back in the muscle man. That gives him an extra option inside, not to mention the fact that you've got an extra offensive rebounder. If at all, the guards take the shot.
Yeah, absolutely. But, you know, this poor guy can't rest. You know,
You can rest tomorrow after the game's done.
You know, I say that half jokingly, you know, but of course you want to have your best scorer at this point of the conference, Vic Manuel, in the game, just to sort of solidify things, especially with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Melesio hounded there by Di Gregorio. Under 10 seconds, here's Manuel going to work. Missing. They can get it down to 8 or to 7 with a three-pointer. Di Gregorio almost lost it. Herndon pushes the action. No. Big rebound there by Vic Manuel, preserving that 10-point lead. Perkins. He's got a mismatch here. They repost.
Nice
Nice
pass.
look. Pascual can't get it to drop though.
Both teams having a hard time putting the ball in the basket these last 2 minutes, but
Di Gregorio launches a three, will miss. Trotter denied. And the ball off the slip here from Melesio.
Anthony, I'm having a really, really difficult time accepting the type of screens that are being set. You know, the last 2 possessions for Alaska, Yusuf Taha set what I call very weak screens. You know, Mike Di Gregorio wasn't able to get free. That's the whole purpose behind a solid screen, to free up your man. And I didn't see that. We actually, throughout the entire game, I've seen it a few times, and it worked in Alaska's favor. Those last 2 possessions, sad to say, those were weak ball screens by the Alaska big, and that forced bad shots and turnovers, quite frankly.
And also contested shots, really.
You know, Coach Jeffrey Carriazo is going to go back to the tape and see those little details. You know, not only does a solid screen help your guard get free, but it also helps the big man be able to put himself in the position to score. We'll be right back.
mo ba ng kakaibang viewing experience sa PBA? Register to join the PBA Virtual Fan Experience and become a Bida fan. Dahil dito sa PBA, tayo ang Bida. Registration link will be posted a day before each PBA game day on PBA, PBA Rush, TV5, and One Sports Facebook page. 93-83 is our score. A minute 44 remaining here in the ball game. Not yet a one-ball game for the Phoenix Fuelmasters, though they're in the driver's seat. Herndon shortened that three, and it falls into the lap of RJ Azul. Melesio, poor pass, stolen by Trotter. Trotter takes it all the way in.
Phoenix has to take better care of this basketball. Only an 8-point lead here. That was a great defensive play by Abu Trotter.
Maybe one more basket, and Phoenix is home free. Azul gonna hold on to this one. Use some precious time.
There's a lot of time left here. Wow.
Up and in there from the muscle man.
That is a beautiful move.
He's gotta be your hero here for sure.
It's high off the glass. Look at this move right here. Spins to the baseline. Attacks Yusuf Taha going towards the middle, then spins to the baseline. High off the glass.
Lead is back up to 10. A minute, 9 seconds remain here.
The muscle man.
Shorten that free throw. Chance here for Alaska still, but they've got to convert. Di Gregorio takes matters into his own hands, scores there. Azul past the front court, and a foul is going to be called here. That's a poor foul. Well, actually, I think they really had to foul more than anything else just to extend this game.
The time is going down, but that's actually a good decision by RJ Azul. At first, I was wondering why he's trying to push it, but you don't want to get trapped in the back court because of the pressure defense or traps, especially from bigs, trying to, to prevent you from making the clear pass.
Azul. Big free throws coming up, makes the first. Pascual's going to check in. He's also had a great game for Phoenix.
He's definitely stepped up big, and that's a great pickup for Phoenix. Just another big who has a lot of experience under his belt. And Jake Pascual.
That missed free throw is going to leave the door open here. Ahanmisi inside, yes!
Now Alaska has the pressure defense. They want to try to force a turnover here, try to get a quick steal and a quick bucket. Still 52 seconds left, a lot of time. Jeffrey Carriazo
push off.
Jeffrey Carriazo upset. He thinks that was an offensive foul.
Melesio now was fouled. He will head to the line. And so the rookie is going to be tested early on here in his career.
Got a few Alaska aces upset with the non-call.
And Coach Jeffrey continues to talk to the referees. As Algin Melesio says, let me take my free throws. To get this one back to 9. Still, a lot of chatting. Right now, let's see Melesio take those shots, though.
They're still trying to argue their case, but, it's not like the referees are going to reverse their call.
That's true. There's nothing they can do.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Melesio, no problem with the first.
Oh, he has a lot of confidence. This is like a layup to him. But Gabinal being checked into the game because of his three-point shooting. They want to get more guards out there, try and get quick buckets.
They need at least another score just to stay in this ball game. Timeout's going to be called here by Coach Jeffrey Carriazo as he tries to map out a plan. Robbie Herndon still talking to the referee.
I would really like to see that replay.
98-89, we'll be back. Back to the venue here at the United Sports Arena in Pasig. The Alaska Aces on the verge of losing another game here because we have Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters in the driver's seat. They're up here, but still not out of the woods.
Not out of the woods at all. I mean, Alaska's doing a pretty good job of trying to force turnovers. Just sort of a desperation to try to get easy buckets, or not, I wouldn't say easy buckets, but again, forcing turnovers, getting quick steals, quick buckets, to sort of catch up here. But what Phoenix has to do is just take care of the basketball, protect the basketball, get it across the half court.
It's a bit of an ask, but at the same time, still a chance for Alaska to win this one, especially if they make a three.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen this happen to Alaska in their game versus Magnolia, so this is very, very possible.
The Muse has been inserted there for defensive purposes. We're gonna have a delay of game here as they took a look at how the play was supposed to evolve. They gave it to Trotter, out high. Abu powers his way inside.
Nice take there by Abu Trotter from all the way at the top of the key. 7 points with 41 seconds left.
Still with a glimmer of hope are the Aces. Trotter with a big basket inside. And that will cut the lead down to 7.
Games this Sunday. First game, Northport Batang Beer versus the San Miguel Beermen. Then the second game, Magnolia versus Ginebra, Manila Classico. And then the third game, 7 p.m. guys, NLEX Road Warriors versus the Terra Firma Jeep.
.37 seconds remaining. Phoenix needs to hurry here because of all that pressure Alaska is applying.
Well, Abu Trotter was able to score from the top of the key pretty easily, and Phoenix doesn't want any more of those things to happen. But at the same time, it looks as if the instructions from the sideline from the coaches was not to foul. If you notice, there wasn't too much resistance. You definitely don't want to stop the clock at any cost if you're Phoenix and then allow someone like Abu Trotter or any one of the Alaska Aces for that matter to get shots at the charity stripe.
But Ali, the window's still open for
Very
Alaska.
Very much open. 34 seconds left. There's a lot of time. A lot of things can happen here. But Phoenix has to concentrate and make their free throws just to make things a little bit more difficult for Alaska.
And RJ Azul just made his second free throw, spinning his charities that time. An 8-point lead for Phoenix Super LPG, 99-91 with 34.6 seconds remaining. But Ali, Alaska has to do, well, let's say, has to call a miracle here.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you know, but they just sort of dug themselves into a hole, started particularly with that second quarter. But take a look at the standings here. You know, Alaska, you see them 1-1 right now. Surely they do not want to fall to 1-2. That's going to push them further down the rankings, but more importantly, from a psychological aspect and a momentum aspect, you don't want to lose 2 games in a row. But we see a very determined Magnolia team that's trying to get their first win of the conference. We know that there's so much potential, especially the type of showing that Phoenix had from the PBA bubble. A lot of expectations, not just on the fans' part, but also Phoenix themselves.
They would want to carry that momentum towards here
Absolutely.
in season 46. Meanwhile, Alaska has 14 to work with. What will they do here? Banal step back 3, way off, and well, that's a stop for Phoenix. Perhaps a step closer for them for sealing this victory.
Yes, absolutely. 27 seconds left. That was actually a very good box out and heads-up play by Perkins on Abu Schroeder.
Now some backcourt pressure being applied by the Aces. But
Good
Phoenix
decision there.
Oh, it's almost a travel.
Looked like he got away with the travel.
But Abu Schroeder will score on the layup, 17 and a half seconds. Alaska's not out of it. But time is definitely not on their side.
Yeah, just a little too late, but right now that timeout, I believe, brings...
There's a full timeout here being called by Phoenix. Again, Abu Schroeder saving the day somehow for the Aces, but again, 17.5 seconds to go. 6-point lead for Phoenix. We'll be right back. Back at us here inside the Nara Sports Arena in Pasig, 17.5 seconds. For Alaska, they wish they had more time for this one. But Phoenix, if you're the Fuelmasters, you don't want to mess things up here, Ali.
No, definitely not. But I would imagine that Phoenix came into this really motivated. Again, you don't want to fall to 3 games straight without a win. And what that does, it demoralizes the team psychologically. But it's been a great response.
I agree.
By the Phoenix Fuelmasters because of the production outside of Vic Manuel. Vic Manuel seemed to be the only person really doing anything against Northport. But now you have a more balanced attack from many of the players from
Got RJ Azul.
RJ Azul.
Let's have Aljon
Malesha, who's been huge.
Yeah.
Pascual, who came off the bench. And, of course, Jason Perkins and Justin Chua finding their marks. Because they've been struggling so far in this conference.
Alaska fouled a bit late that time. Obviously, they're going for the steal here because why not? It's just a 2-possession ball game.
Absolutely.
And RJ Azul is going to be put inside the pressure cooker once again. He split his charities in his previous trip. This time making the first free throw.
RJ Hazul's seen many of these. You know, the irony out of all of this is that, you know, aside from RJ Hazul, there's so many of these players that used to play for Alaska at one point that are playing for Phoenix right now. You think about Vic Manuel, I believe Jake Pascual played for Alaska at one point.
De Gregorio deciding to take it all the way. That is no good. Perkins secures the board. Referee says it's a jump ball with 5.4 seconds remaining. And Ali, it seems Phoenix will get their first victory here until the final buzzer.
And, you know, overall, I wouldn't say it was the most prettiest game in the world, but they got the job done. And when you're able to get back into the winning column and grind it out the way they did, because they grinded this out, it brings a lot of confidence back to the locker room.
Absolutely, and there's our final score, 101 for Phoenix Super LPG Fuelmasters, 93 for the Alaska Aces. Phoenix once again getting that win column finally after a pretty couple challenging ball games, or heartbreaking to say the least. for the Fuelmasters. Meanwhile, best player of the game, Vic Manuel, 26 points, 12 rebounds in 23 shots for Vic Manuel. Really efficient for this guy here, Vic Manuel.
Oh, definitely, and you know, he in that second quarter is when he began to really make his presence felt, and then it just carried on to the second half. Huge performance again by Vic Manuel.
Our next level player of the game, Vic Manuel, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We'll be right back.
Good evening. We are here with the best player of the game, Vic Manuel, and Phoenix Super LPG head coach, Topex Robinson. Vic, unang panalo after 3 games. How are you adjusting so far sa bago mong team?
Ito, masaya kasi finally nakuha namin first win. So, yun lang, lagi lang na-remind sa amin ni coach. Enjoy the game, enjoy the game. Yun lang, kasi yung tiwala niya sa amin, nandun talaga. So, credit sa kanya kasi talagang binibigyan niya kami ng kumpiyansa. Especially yung buong team namin. So, yun.
Vic, this game wala si Matt and si Chris. Plinano mo bang mag-take charge para makuha?
Ngayon pa lang nag-buzzer.
Vic, this game wala si Matt and si Chris. Plinano mo bang mag-take charge para makuha yung unang panalo?
Kanina, pagpunta ko sa upper deck, so nagkita kami ni coach. Niremind niya sa akin na hindi maglalaro si Chris. Si Matt. So sabi lang ni coach, ikaw muna. So, kaya talaga yung kumpiyansa ko, talagang mataas kasi yun nga, tiwala sa akin ni Coach Topex, tiwala ng coaching staff, tiwala ng mga teammates sa akin. So yun, dedicate namin itong game na to kay Matt, kay Chris Bonchero, especially sa buong team, sa management.
Thank you, Vic. Coach Topex, your thoughts on the game po?
Again, that's huge. Guys stepped up. When, just like what Vic mentioned, nung wala nga si Matt, so it really was important yung tulong ng iba. So, again, that was a total team effort. Coaches did a good job preparing for the game. And, yung players really competed and grinded it out with Alaska.
Next question, Eros Villanueva.
Hi, Coach Topex. Congrats po on tonight's win. Can we ask po about Matthew's status and why he wasn't able to play tonight?
Matt injured. I think he had an injury the day before, yesterday during practice. So we don't want to gamble on him. He's not really 100%, and that's why we just decided not to play Matt, just to prepare him for our game on Wednesday. So that's big for us. And again, at this point, we want to make sure that we're going to be smart with our decisions as far as our players are concerned. So that was a decision that the management and the coaching staff made prior to the game.
Ano po yung injury, if I may ask, Coach? Sorry.
I think Matt sprained his ankle. Hindi naman siya ganun kagrabe, but also, syempre, we need him. We know that it's not good for him to force it. And it's nice to know that there are a lot of guys stepping up. So, again, nothing really serious with Matt. We just want to make sure that he's 100% coming into our game on Wednesday.
Game highlights is brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. There's a nip and tuck affair back in the first quarter, Ali.
No, absolutely. But we saw a lot of good connections by Alaska, like this one right here. Mike DeGregorio to Rodney Rondial. And it looked like in the first quarter, Alaska was on their way to, coming out really hard. I mean, they responded really well, but then buckets such as that by Phoenix, RJ Hazul starting with the three-point shot.
26-18 to end the first quarter, lead by the Alaska Aces. And we should mention, Ali, that Phoenix is doing this one without Matthew, right? As you see that Vic Manuel layup. That is where he started that barrage of Vic Manuel.
Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why he was implemented into the starting five, just to make up for the lack of scoring in that starting five because Matthew Wright had to sit out, but it worked in Phoenix's favor.
20 points already for the muscle man in that first half to go along with 11 rebounds. And that happens to be the 20th point of Vic Manuel at halftime. It was 53-42. Phoenix up by 11 in the third quarter. Well, it's the other guys for the Fuelmasters.
Absolutely. Justin Chua doing a really good job of setting that pick for R. Garcia. R. Garcia finding Justin Chua for that shot and that and one. And then Jason Perkins. It just seemed like the shooting and the scoring started to come back to those two big men who have been so intricate for this Phoenix team.
Also, Jansen Rios joining the party for the Bigs of Phoenix. Jason Perkins had 12 points in the game, 84-61 to end third quarter for Phoenix. In the fourth, Alaska was almost there, but again, Phoenix just did enough to keep the Aces at bay.
I think the most important thing was certain guys stepped up, especially due to the runs of Alaska. RJ Hazul knocking down that three-point shot, and then Jake Pasquale, who can knock down those types of three-point shots, adding a bit of his sense in.
Robbie Herndon made things happen for the Aces, so as Abu Trader were able to trim that lead further down to 6 in the dying seconds. But again, time wasn't enough. Phoenix was able to do enough here in this game, 101-93, our final score. Ali, it has been a pleasure working with you.
Absolutely, yes sir.
Yeah, on behalf of my partner, Ali Peak and Anthony Santay, my name is Jay De La Cruz. See you, Philippines. This is the 2021 PBA Philippine Cup.